Welcome back to another avatar tutorial for Jump Force. Today we are going to be creating Saiki Kusuo, the protagonist of the disastrous life of Saiki K. Firstly we're going to walk through how to create and customize his character and then going through the entire moveset that I use, as well as some alternate options if you want to change anything. All of that up next. So why did I choose to create Saiki Kusuo? Lockdown gave me the opportunity to watch many anime series, especially a lot I'd been putting off, and Saiki K was one of them. Whilst not a traditional fighter, Saiki Kusuo has a plethora of abilities that I thought would make him easy to recreate in Jump Force with a lot of variety. In addition, his visual design is generic enough to also be easy to recreate. Since Saiki Kusuo was also playable in J-Star's Victory Versus, I knew it wasn't impossible to put him in a fighting game. I decided to go with a Type B male fighter. While Saiki isn't a traditional fighter, he does have a tremendous amount of strength, and I think Type B conveys that the best. I think Type C is also a solid option, however I usually don't go for that because of the Naruto run. Additionally, with Type B you get a pink aura when you charge energy, which matches Saiki's hair, so that's a nice little bonus. Next I'm going to walk through all of the customization options such as the body, hair, eyes, etc, but I will return once that's all done to talk about the outfit and the moveset. See you soon. To be honest, Saiki Kusuo didn't turn out as accurate as I expected. Nevertheless, I still think this is the most accurate you can make him in Jump Force. The outfit is obviously too dark for green and is more of a suit and less of a school uniform. There were alternate options for school uniforms, but overall this suit looked the best in my opinion. To recreate the outfit, you will find most of the items you'll need in the One Piece store, Team Beta's store. For the top, go with suit top number 2, and then go with slacks number 2 for the bottoms. For the shoes, the best option is leather shoes number 1. These shoes aren't perfect, but the colour as well as the synergy with the rest of the outfit make these the best option. There are two accessory options you can choose for Saiki Kusuo. You can either choose to replicate his green glasses or his antennas. I personally went with the glasses, and you'll find these at the main lobby store, and they're called glasses number 5. If you want to go for the antennas, head over to the Dragon Ball Z store, the Team Alpha store, and pick up horn number 1. Now because these antennas count as a face accessory and not a head accessory, you cannot wear the glasses alongside them, so you will have to decide which you prefer. As I said, I prefer to have the glasses over the antennas. As I said earlier, Saiki Kusuo has a lot of abilities to choose from. If you've seen it, you'll know that throughout the series, Saiki displays many abilities a Psychic would have, many of which can be used in combat and as such can be used in Jump Force. That being said, he still has a fair number of abilities that are simply much harder to put into Jump Force since this game doesn't have psychic abilities per se. For Saiki's first ability, I went with Flame Fist from Sabo's moveset. Plain and simple, this is just Pyrokinesis. Pyrokinesis can be manifested in a number of ways, so I think you can give him almost any fire ability here. However, I decided to stick with Flame Fist because it was the best adaptation in my opinion. If you don't want to go with an alternative Pyrokinesis option, I would suggest going with Fireball Jutsu from Sasuke's moveset, or even Dragon Flame Loud Singing Jutsu from Madara's moveset. For Saiki's second ability, I went with Final Impact from Trunks' moveset. Whilst not a very iconic ability, Saiki can fire lasers which doesn't require more than one hand. Final Impact in my opinion is the best option to go with here. If you want, you could choose to go with Death Beam from Frieza's moveset, but I really didn't like that as much, it just depends on what you want however. For Saiki's third ability, I went with Dragon's Breath from Sabo's moveset. I don't know the specific name of this ability from the original series, but it very much reminded me of the time when he stopped the volcano eruption. Also, Dragon's Breath is a unique and interesting combo tool, so I like it for that. For alternative options, I would recommend going with Spirit Breaker from Vegeta's moveset to imitate his flight abilities, or even 6 Powers Finger Pistol to imitate his teleportation. For his Awaken ability, I decided to go with Super Spirit Bomb from Goku's moveset. Saiki pretty much does this exact ability in the show, so it's a pretty obvious choice. I think the best alternate option is Spirit Gun Mega from Yusuke's moveset if you'd prefer a Dash Super over an Orb Super, but in my opinion Super Spirit Bomb is the only real option. I hope you've enjoyed this avatar tutorial. I'm overall happy with how Saiki Kusuo turned out in the end. I honestly expected Saiki Kusuo to be a little easier to create as far as his visual design and moveset are concerned, but as I said, the final result is pretty solid. I already know who to create for my next avatar tutorial, for once I already have that planned in advance. As for who else after that, who knows. I say this in pretty much every video, but I do always have some ideas here and there for other characters to create, some more developed than others. The Disastrous Life of Saiki K does have a lot of characters that I think would be easy enough to recreate in Jump Force, but whether or not I'll follow up on that depends on how I feel when it comes down to it. In that case, I think that Kaido would be the best option. Anyway, that's all I have for today's avatar tutorial. Please enjoy this short gameplay montage with Saiki Kusuo, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.